In the realm of classic cars, some stories remain hidden gems, waiting to be discovered. The tale of the Gordon-Keeble GK1 is one such narrative, a British grand tourer that emerged in the 1960s, combining Italian design elegance, American muscle, and British engineering precision. With only 100 units ever produced between 1964 and 1967, this rare masterpiece represents a unique chapter in automotive history. The story begins with a vision, unfolds through determination, and culminates in a legacy that continues to captivate enthusiasts today. The story begins in the late 1950s when John Gordon, a former associate of Peerless Cars, embarked on an ambitious journey to create something extraordinary. His vision was clear: to develop a high-performance luxury coupe that would harness American power while maintaining British sophistication. This vision led him to collaborate with engineer Jim Keeble, marking the beginning of a partnership that would soon create automotive history. Their initial creation, the Gordon GT prototype, showcased innovative engineering choices that were ahead of their time. The foundation was a square-tube steel space frame chassis, carefully designed to provide optimal rigidity and handling characteristics. The prototype featured independent front suspension and disc brakes on all four wheels, advanced features for that era that demonstrated the team's commitment to engineering excellence. The aesthetic aspect of the car was entrusted to Bertoni, a renowned Italian design house. A young designer named Giorgetto Giugiaro, who would later become one of the most influential automotive designers in history, took charge of crafting the car's appearance. His design incorporated four slightly angled 5-inch headlights, a feature shared with other high-speed European cars of the time, including the Lagonda Rapida and Lancia Flaminia. The interior design showed equal attention to detail, featuring white-on-black gauges and toggle switches, complemented by quilted aircraft PVC that gave the cabin a sophisticated aviation-inspired feel. This combination of elements created an atmosphere that balanced luxury with sporting intent. The Gordon made its public debut at the Geneva Motor Show in March 1960, displayed proudly on the Bertoni stand. Despite facing challenges with component deliveries, the talented team at Gruppo Bertoni completed the car's construction in just 27 days, a testament to their skill and dedication. Following extensive road testing, the prototype embarked on a crucial journey to Detroit, where it was presented to Chevrolet management. This meeting proved successful, securing an agreement for the supply of Corvette engines and gearboxes for future production models. The transition from prototype to production brought several significant changes. The engine was upgraded to a more powerful 5.4-liter Chevrolet V8, now producing 300 horsepower. In a strategic move to reduce weight and production costs, the body material was changed from steel to glass fiber. Initially, Williams and Pritchard Limited, known for their expertise in lightweight automotive components, handled the production of these glass fiber bodies. Later, this process was brought in-house to improve manufacturing efficiency. The production facility itself carried historical significance. Located at Eastleigh Aerodrome, now known as Southampton Airport, the manufacturing building had previously hosted the preparation of the first Supermarine Spitfire for its maiden flight in 1936. This connection to British aviation history added another layer of significance to the Gordon-Keeble story. When the Gordon-Keeble GK1 officially launched in 1964, it was priced at £2,798, significantly lower than competitors like Aston Martin and Ferrari. While this pricing strategy aimed to make the car more accessible, it ultimately contributed to financial difficulties. After producing approximately 90 cars, the original company faced liquidation. However, the story didn't end there. In 1965, Harold Smith and Jeffrey West acquired the company, re-establishing it as Keeble Cars Limited. Under their leadership, production continued briefly, with the final car of the main manufacturing run completed in 1966. One last vehicle was assembled from spare parts in 1967, bringing the total production to exactly 100 units. The engineering of the GK1 demonstrated a sophisticated understanding of automotive design principles. The square-section space frame chassis provided excellent structural rigidity, while the suspension system combined double wishbones at the front with a Didion rear axle. This setup delivered a balance of handling precision and ride comfort that was remarkable for its time. The Didion rear suspension was particularly noteworthy, offering the benefits of independent suspension while maintaining the strength of a solid axle. The car's dimensions were carefully chosen to fulfill its grand touring purpose. With a length of 184 inches and a width of 68 inches, the GK1 provided generous interior space for 4 occupants. The 102-inch wheelbase contributed to high-speed stability and ride comfort. 2 fuel tanks with a combined capacity of 22 gallons ensured long-distance capability without frequent refueling stops. An interesting aspect of the Gordon-Keeble's identity is its unusual choice of emblem, a tortoise. This came about during an early publicity photo shoot, when someone placed a passing tortoise on the car's hood as a humorous contrast to its high-performance capabilities. The image resonated so well with the team that the tortoise was adopted as the official emblem, symbolizing the perfect balance of speed and endurance. The heart of the Gordon-Keeble GK1 was its Chevrolet 327 cubic inch V8 engine. This 5.4-liter power plant, sourced directly from General Motors, was originally designed for the Corvette and was known for its reliability and strong performance. The engine produced 300 horsepower at 5,000 revolutions per minute and 360 pound of torque at 3,200 revolutions per minute, making it one of the most powerful cars of its era. Paired with a 4-speed manual transmission, also from General Motors, the powertrain delivered impressive performance figures. The GK1 could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in approximately 6 seconds and achieve a top speed of 145 miles per hour. Remarkable figures for a 4-seater Grand Tourer of the 1960s. The choice of the Chevrolet V8 was practical as well as performance-oriented. Its widespread use in American vehicles meant that spare parts were readily available, particularly in the United States. The engine featured a 4-barrel carburetor that provided smooth power delivery across the rev range, and its naturally aspirated design promoted reliability and ease of maintenance. The cooling system was engineered to handle the V8's power output effectively. A large front grille allowed sufficient airflow to the radiator, maintaining optimal operating temperatures even during spirited driving or extended high-speed cruising. The exhaust system was tuned to produce a characteristic V8 rumble while managing the engine's output efficiently. The interior of the Gordon-Keeble GK1 showcased the car's grand touring credentials. Premium materials were used throughout, with leather upholstery and polished wood trim, creating an atmosphere of sophisticated luxury. The dashboard featured a comprehensive array of instruments, all designed for easy reading while driving. Chrome accents on the gauges and switches added touches of elegance to the cabin. Electric windows, a rare feature for the mid-1960s, demonstrated the car's premium positioning. The controls were thoughtfully placed on the center console for easy access. The 3-spoke steering wheel, finished in polished metal, was adjustable to accommodate different driving positions. The gear lever's positioning and short throw facilitated quick, precise shifts, while the pedal arrangement allowed for advanced driving techniques like heel and toe shifting. The heating and ventilation system was designed for long-distance comfort, with adjustable vents providing good airflow control. Storage space was generous, with a large trunk capable of accommodating luggage for 4 people. The interior's attention to detail extended to padded door panels with integrated armrests, thick carpeting for insulation and comfort, and a carefully finished headliner that matched the overall interior design. Safety features, while modest by modern standards, were progressive for the era. Front seat belts were included, and the robust space frame chassis was designed to provide occupant protection in the event of a collision. The Gordon-Keeble GK1's brief production run of just 100 units has made it one of the rarest British Grand Tourers. Its unique combination of Italian design, American power, and British engineering created a car that stood apart from its contemporaries. The fact that most of these cars have survived to the present day testifies to their quality of construction and the care with which their owners have preserved them. Today, the Gordon-Keeble GK1 represents more than just a classic car. It stands as a testament to the vision of John Gordon and Jim Keeble, the design brilliance of Giorgetto Giugiaro, and the engineering excellence of its era. Its story demonstrates how innovation, determination, and creativity can produce extraordinary results even if commercial success proves elusive. The legacy of the Gordon-Keeble GK1 continues to inspire automotive enthusiasts and serves as a reminder of a time when small manufacturers could create vehicles that competed with the industry's giants. In the early 1970s, American roads witnessed the birth of a forgotten legend, the Pontiac Grand Prix SJ equipped with the mighty 455 V8 engine. This wasn't just another luxury car. It was a statement of power, prestige, and engineering excellence. As muscle cars dominated the streets and drag strips of America, Pontiac crafted something unique, a vehicle that merged raw horsepower with sophisticated luxury, creating a new category of automobile that would influence car design for decades to come. The Grand Prix SJ represented the peak of Pontiac's engineering prowess, a time when performance and luxury coexisted in perfect harmony. The story begins in 1962 when Pontiac first introduced the Grand Prix. Based on the Catalina platform, this full-sized luxury coupe aimed to carve its own niche in the automotive landscape. The early Grand Prix models featured distinctive styling elements that set them apart from their contemporaries. The minimal chrome trim and unique grille design spoke to a more refined aesthetic, while the interior boasted features ahead of its time: bucket seats, a center console, and a tachometer, elements that weren't common in luxury cars of that era. By 1965, the Grand Prix underwent a significant transformation. The introduction of the Coke bottle body style marked a decisive shift in automotive design. This new look, characterized by curved lines and an aggressive stance, reflected the changing tastes of American consumers who wanted their cars to look as powerful as they performed. The Grand Prix's evolution continued through the latter half of the 1960s, culminating in the groundbreaking 1969 model year. The 1969 redesign marked a pivotal moment in the Grand Prix's history. Pontiac made a bold decision to move away from the full-size platform, transitioning to the intermediate GMA platform, now known as the G-body. This change resulted in a more compact yet equally luxurious vehicle. The 1969 model featured the longest hood in Pontiac's history, a design element that would become iconic. This transformation wasn't just about aesthetics, it represented Pontiac's understanding of the market's shift towards personal luxury coupes. The early years of the Grand Prix saw a variety of powerful V8 engines. From 1962 to 1964, buyers could choose between several options, starting with the 389 cubic inch V8 producing 230 horsepower, all the way up to the mighty 421 cubic inch V8 that generated 370 horsepower. These engine choices demonstrated Pontiac's commitment to performance even in their luxury offerings. The introduction of the SJ trim level in 1969 marked another significant milestone. The SJ designation wasn't chosen randomly. It paid homage to the legendary Duesenberg Model SJ from the 1930s, a car that represented the pinnacle of luxury and performance in its era. The Grand Prix SJ carried this torch forward, offering enhanced performance features and luxury amenities that elevated it above the standard model. The real game changer came in 1970 with the introduction of the 455 V8 engine. This massive power plant replaced the previous 428 cubic inch V8 and quickly established itself as one of the most formidable engines in the industry. With the displacement of 455 cubic inches, 7.5 liters, this engine was designed to deliver impressive performance numbers that would satisfy even the most demanding enthusiasts. The 455 V8 engine was a marvel of engineering for its time. Built with a cast iron block and heads, it featured a bore of 4.151 inches and a stroke of 4.210 inches. The compression ratio varied between 7.6 to 1 and 10.25 to 1, depending on the specific model year and configuration. Power output ranged from 185 to 370 horsepower, while torque figures stretched from 330 to 500 pound-feet. In the 1971 Grand Prix SJ, the 455 V8 engine was particularly impressive, rated at 325 horsepower and 455 pound-feet of torque. These numbers translated into real-world performance that could compete with dedicated sports cars of the era. The Grand Prix SJ could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in less than 7 seconds, while completing the quarter-mile run in the mid-14-second range. Impressive figures for a luxury car weighing over 4,000 pounds. The engine's design was relatively straightforward but effective. It used an overhead valve configuration with 2 valves per cylinder for a total of 16 valves. The fuel delivery system employed a carburetor, while the ignition system used a points-type setup. Despite its simple design, the 455 V8 proved to be incredibly durable and capable of handling significant power increases through modification. The SJ trim level wasn't just about the powerful engine, it included a comprehensive package of performance and luxury features. The rally gauge cluster provided drivers with essential information about the engine's operation, while body-colored mirrors and SJ badging helped distinguish it from lesser models. Inside, the car featured premium materials and comfort features that put it on par with more expensive luxury brands. The exterior design of the early 1970s Grand Prix models was a masterclass in automotive styling. The long hood and pronounced grille created an imposing presence on the road. The 1971 model introduced an integrated bumper and grille design that gave the car a more modern, unified appearance. The clean lines and minimal ornamentation reflected a growing trend toward more sophisticated design in American cars. Inside, the Grand Prix SJ offered a level of luxury that justified its premium position in the market. The Strato bucket seats provided both comfort and support, while the center console housed the shifter and additional storage space. The dashboard featured a full complement of gauges, including a tachometer, oil pressure gauge, and ammeter, tools that serious drivers appreciated. The interior wasn't just about function, it also offered numerous luxury features. Options included air conditioning, power windows, power seats, and an AM/FM radio with an available 8-track player. The wood grain trim on the dashboard and doors added an upscale touch, while the 3-spoke steering wheel with the Pontiac logo reminded drivers they were piloting something special. The Grand Prix SJ competed in a growing personal luxury car market that included rivals like the Chevrolet Monte Carlo, Buick Riviera, Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme, and Ford Thunderbird. Each of these vehicles offered their own interpretation of the personal luxury concept, but the Grand Prix SJ distinguished itself through its emphasis on performance without sacrificing comfort. Production numbers tell an interesting story. In 1971, Pontiac built 58,325 units of the Grand Prix SJ, though only a portion of these came equipped with the 455 V8 engine. These limited production numbers have contributed to the model's desirability among collectors today, particularly for well-preserved examples with the original powertrain. The early 1970s marked both the peak and the beginning of the end for high-performance luxury cars like the Grand Prix SJ. The 1973 oil crisis led to increased fuel prices and a shift in consumer preferences towards smaller, more efficient vehicles. Emissions regulations also began to tighten, forcing manufacturers to reduce engine power to meet new standards. Despite these challenges, the Grand Prix SJ with the 455 V8 engine left an indelible mark on automotive history. It represented the pinnacle of American automotive engineering during the muscle car era, combining luxury and performance in a way that few cars before or since have managed to achieve. Today, the Grand Prix SJ is highly sought after by collectors and enthusiasts. Well-maintained examples, particularly those with the 455 V8 engine, command premium prices at auctions and private sales. The car's value extends beyond its monetary worth. It represents an era when American automakers pushed the boundaries of performance and luxury, creating vehicles that continue to capture imaginations decades later. Picture a car so prestigious that British prime ministers refused to let it die. In 1973, when Rover announced the end of production, the government did something unprecedented. They secretly stockpiled the last ones ever made. Why? Because this wasn't just another luxury car. With its thundering American V8 heart and a silhouette that turned heads from London's elite clubs to Windsor Castle, this was Britain's answer to world-class luxury. For 6 years, it carried prime ministers to Parliament, earned the Queen's seal of approval, and showed the world what happens when British elegance meets Detroit muscle. This is the story of the Rover P5B Coupe, the car that Britain's powerful couldn't let go. The story begins in 1958 when Rover introduced the P5 series, marking a revolutionary departure from their traditional designs. David Bache, Rover's chief stylist, was tasked with creating something extraordinary. The P5 represented Rover's first venture into unitary construction, abandoning the dated, body-on-frame design that had dominated automobile manufacturing. Under the leadership of Bache, the initial P5 emerged with a 3.0-liter inline-six engine, known as the Inlet Over Exhaust (IOE) engine. This power plant, inherited from the P4 series, delivered 115 horsepower and could propel the car to speeds of 100 miles per hour. While impressive for its time, this was merely the beginning of the P5's evolution. The journey to greatness continued through several iterations. The Mark II arrived in 1962, bringing enhanced power and subtle styling improvements. By 1965, the Mark III further refined the formula. However, the true transformation occurred in 1967 with the introduction of the P5B. The B designation marked a pivotal moment. The adoption of Buick's 3.5-liter V8 engine. This aluminum V8 engine was a masterpiece of engineering. With a bore of 88.9 mm and a stroke of 71.12 mm, it displaced 3,528 cc. The engine's compression ratio of 10.5 to 1 helped deliver 160 horsepower at 5,200 revolutions per minute and 210 pound-feet torque at 2,600 revolutions per minute. Two SUH-6 carburetors managed fuel delivery, while an overhead valve configuration with 16 valves ensured efficient operation. The P5B Coupe's performance figures were impressive for a luxury vehicle of its era. It could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 12.1 seconds and reach a top speed of 115 miles per hour. While these numbers might seem modest by today's standards, they represented considerable performance for a full-sized luxury car of the late 1960s. The exterior design of the P5B Coupe was a testament to British elegance. The lowered roofline, compared to its saloon sibling, created a more dynamic profile without sacrificing the car's dignity. Chrome raw-style wheels and extensive brightwork adorned the exterior, while the distinctive front grille proudly displayed the Rover emblem, flanked by dual headlamps. Measuring 186.5 inches in length, 70 inches in width, and 58 inches in height, the P5B Coupe possessed commanding road presence. Its 110.5-inch wheelbase provided excellent stability and generous interior space. The suspension system combined independent front suspension with coil springs and a live rear axle with leaf springs, delivering the comfort expected of a luxury vehicle. The interior was a showcase of British craftsmanship. Rich wood veneers adorned the dashboard and door panels, complemented by premium leather upholstery. The cabin environment rivaled the finest gentlemen's clubs, with thick carpeting and thoughtfully positioned controls. The Borg-Warner Type 35 automatic transmission ensured smooth power delivery, while power steering made maneuvering the substantial vehicle effortless. The P5B Coupe's fuel efficiency ranged from 17 to 22 miles per gallon, reasonable for a V8-powered luxury car of its time. The braking system utilized disc brakes up front and drums at the rear, providing adequate stopping power for the vehicle's performance capabilities. Perhaps the most fascinating aspect of the P5B Coupe was its distinguished clientele. British Prime Ministers Harold Wilson, Edward Heath, James Callaghan, and Margaret Thatcher all chose the P5B as their official transport. Queen Elizabeth II's ownership of a P5B saloon finished in Arden Green further cemented the model's prestigious status. This particular vehicle now resides at the Heritage Motor Centre in Gaydon, Warwickshire. The British government's appreciation for the P5B was so profound that when production ceased in 1973, they purchased and stockpiled the final units. These cars continued to serve in governmental roles well into the 1980s, a testament to their reliability and enduring appeal. Production numbers tell an interesting story. Between 1967 and 1973, Rover manufactured 9,099 P5B Coupes and 11,501 P5B saloons. While these figures might seem modest, they reflect the exclusive nature of these vehicles and their positioning in the luxury market. The P5B Coupe's legacy extends beyond its production years. Today, enthusiast clubs and preservation societies dedicated to the Rover P5 series keep the spirit of these magnificent vehicles alive. Regular gatherings, exhibitions, and rallies celebrate the P5B's contribution to British automotive history. The development of the P5B represented a significant milestone in Rover's history. The acquisition and adaptation of the Buick V8 engine demonstrated the company's forward-thinking approach. This lightweight aluminum engine would go on to power various British vehicles for decades, proving the wisdom of Rover's investment. The car's construction techniques were equally innovative. The unitary body structure, a departure from traditional methods, improved rigidity while reducing weight. This engineering approach would influence automotive design for years to come. In the context of British automotive history, the P5B Coupe stands as a bridge between different eras. It maintained traditional luxury values while embracing modern engineering solutions. The combination of American V8 power with British refinement created a unique driving experience that appealed to both conservative and progressive buyers. Today, surviving examples of the P5B Coupe are highly sought after by collectors and enthusiasts. Their historical significance, combined with their elegant design and impressive engineering, makes them valuable pieces of British automotive heritage. Many have been carefully restored and maintained, ensuring that future generations can appreciate these remarkable vehicles.